Hi, Snyder Stallions. This is Mrs. Prim here. I have a bonus read aloud for our place value unit for this week. So this is How Much is a Million by David M. Schwartz and the pictures by Stephen Kellogg. How much is a million? Marvelosissimo, the mathematical magician. I just call us mathemagicians. It's much easier. Remember, we're asking how much is a million? If 1 million kids climbed onto one another's shoulders, they would be taller than the tallest buildings, higher than the highest mountains, and farther up than airplanes can fly. If you wanted to count from 1 to 1 million, it would take you about 23 days. If a goldfish bowl were big enough for 1,000,000 goldfish, it would be large enough to hold a whale. Can you imagine that? Presto! 100 stars. If this book had 1,000,000 tiny stars, they would fill 70 pages. Climb aboard! See those teeny tiny stars? It's a lot of stars. There you have 100,000 stars. If we take the 7-page journey 10 times, we'll pass 1,000,000 stars. Let's do that later. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. How big is 1,000,000,000? If 1,000,000,000 kids made a human tower, they would stand up past the moon. If you sat down to count from 1 to 1,000,000,000, you would be counting for 95 years. If you found a goldfish bowl large enough to hold 1,000,000,000 goldfish, it would be as big as a stadium. If this book had 1,000,000,000 tiny stars, its pages would spread side by side, would stretch almost 10 miles. How tremendous is 1,000,000,000,000? If 1,000,000,000,000 kids stood on top of each other, they would reach way, way, way beyond the moon. Beyond Mars and Jupiter too, and almost as far as Saturn's rings. Wow, 1,000,000,000,000 kids! If you wanted to count from 1 to 1,000,000,000,000, it would take you almost 200,000 years. And if you put 1,000,000,000,000 goldfish in a goldfish bowl, how big do you think that bowl would be? Just take a second and try to think about that. The bowl would have to be as big as a city harbor. If you put 1,000,000,000 of our stars onto a gigantic roll of paper, it would stretch all the way from New York to New Zealand. Oh, so aren't you glad we're not using numbers all the way up to 1 trillion yet? For right now, we're just going to keep working on place value into the thousands place, up to maybe 1,200. And if you want to go a little bit further than that, that is super okay as well. I hope you all are having fun with our place value unit. See you next time.